Hi everyone, I'm Elnaz and welcome to my website. I'm going to talk to you about TOEFL with a little bit more detailed information. I have also another video about the TOEFL with more general views, so you can also watch it. Let's not waste our time and get started. What is TOEFL? If you are an international student looking to study at a university in an English-speaking country, then you may need to take TOEFL test. TOEFL is an acronym of the Test of English as a Foreign Language, which is the official name of the test. It assesses your ability to both speak and understand English by analyzing your English ability in terms of reading, speaking, listening, and writing. These are all the skills that will be needed to carry out your academic studies, and the test is used by an institution to ensure students are able to proceed and succeed on their chosen course in a country where the curriculum is taught in English. Who needs to take a TOEFL test? The TOEFL test has been taken by over 27 million people worldwide to ensure their English ability is adequate. The test is often taken by students who are planning to study at university abroad and scholarship candidates, along with the students and workers who are applying for visas and English language learner tracking their English progress. Keep an eye out on the requirements for university courses, as it will be stated there whether you are required to take test, TOEFL test, and the minimum grade required to apply for the course. Why take a TOEFL test? Educational institutions and government agencies in over 130 countries accept TOEFL scores when considering application for certain position or courses. As an admission requirement, you may find that some courses require a minimum TOEFL score, which will allow you to proceed onto the course alongside the regular course requirements. Minimum score requirements can range between 61 and 100 depending on the institution and courses. The result you receive in your TOEFL test will only be valid for 2 years. After those 2 years, they are no longer recorded. So, if you are looking to apply to study abroad, after this time, you will have to sit the test again. It's important to ensure that you take the test in time for your application if the result is part of the requirements. If you are only studying a course which lasts a year, the same TOEFL results could be used to improve your opportunities for work in a foreign country also. If it's part of the requirements for your admission, then it's important to research in more depth and be prepared for the different elements of the test. Where are TOEFL scores accepted? Preferred in the US. 9 out of 10 universities in the US prefer the TOEFL test over other English language tests. Additionally, US universities receive more TOEFL scores than all other English language tests combined. More popular in Canada. More than 80% of graduate programs in Canada prefer the TOEFL test over the other English language tests. Canadian universities receive more TOEFL scores than all other English language tests combined. 100% accepted in Australia and New Zealand. TOEFL scores are accepted by all Australian and New Zealand universities as well as for all Australian and universities immigration. More popular in French and Germany. French and German universities prefer the TOEFL test and receive more TOEFL scores than any other English language test. Widely accepted in the UK. More than 98% of universities in the UK accept TOEFL scores, including 100% of the early Russell Group universities, providing a fair and unbiased alternative. Actually, there are two different types of the TOEFL test. The first one and the most common and popular one is TOEFL IBT, internet-based test. A reading section of between 60 to 100 minutes, which involves reading 3 to 5 passages, containing 20 to 14 questions in each. A listening section of between 60 to 90 minutes, which involves 6 to 9 passages, containing 5 to 6 questions in each. A speaking section, which lasts 20 minutes and involves 6 spoken tasks. A writing section, which lasts 15 minutes and involves 2 tasks which need completion. And another type of the TOEFL test is paper-based test, TOEFL PBT, a listening section of between 30 to 40 minutes consisting of 3 parts. A structure and written expression section lasting 25 minutes, which including 15 exercises of sentences completion and 25 examples for error identification. A reading section which lasts 15 minutes and includes answering 15 questions about passage. A writing section which lasts 30 minutes, half an hour, which involves 1 written essay containing around 250 to 300 words. The main difference between the two formats is the spoken section of the test, which is replaced by a structure and written expression section in the paper-based test. How much does the TOEFL test cost? The test fee varies depending on where you take the test, but typically ranges between $180 to $300. This covers your registration fee, your score report, and 4 score reports sent to an institution you select. There are additional fees for late registration, rescheduling, and canceling a test. Where can I take a TOEFL test? There are many tests throughout the year across the world which you could possibly take. There are 4,500 TOEFL test centers in 165 countries. Means there is going to be a center which is easily accessible to you. You can find your nearest test center on the official TOEFL website, which contains the location of test center and which format they conduct the testing. Registration open 5 to 6 months before each test date. It's highly recommended that you register early to ensure you got a spot for your desired date and location. It's also important to check the admission requirements for your chosen university or institution to see if TOEFL results are required for entry prior to applying. If so, then the next step is ensuring that you find a test center to carry out your test at. Once you have your TOEFL result, remember that a record of them only lasts for 2 years. So make the most of the hard work and money you put into it and improve your future prospects. How is the TOEFL test structured? The TOEFL IBT test is taken on a computer at secure, authorized TOEFL IBT test center. The test measures all 4 English language skills and takes approximately 3 hours to complete. The 4 sections are as follows: reading 54 to 72 minutes, read passage and then respond to questions. Listening 41 to 57 minutes, listen to lectures and conversations and respond to questions. You have 10 minutes break after listening part. And after the break, your speaking part will be started. Speaking 70 minutes, speak into microphone about familiar topics and discuss material you read about and listen to. Writing 50 minutes, read the passage, listen to recording and then type your written response. And here you can see the overall TOEFL exam pattern that we had spoken about it. Let us go a little bit deep into these different 4 sections parts of the TOEFL test. The first section of the exam is reading. Let's see what is the TOEFL exam pattern. Reading. The first section you will have on the TOEFL IBT is the reading section. As mentioned above, this section can vary in length. So, if you don't get any experimental questions, reading will be 60 minutes long and contains 36 to 42 questions. If you do get experimental questions, you will be 8 minutes long and contain 48 to 56 questions. Your main task is to read passages and answer questions about them. Each reading passage is long, usually about 700 words, and you will have 3 or 4 passages in total. If you get 4, one will be an experimental passage. Passages deal with a variety of academic topics from history and art to science and psychology. Each passage also comes with 12 to 14 questions or a question set. You are not timed on each passage and question set, so it's important to manage your time wisely. Reading is first scored in raw points, the number of points you get per question, and then converted to a scaled score out of 30. A good reading score varies depending on where you are applying, but generally anything above 22, the 5th percentile, can be considered good. TOEFL reading question types are multiple question, inserting sentences, and reading to learn. 3 tips for attacking the TOEFL reading pattern. First, learn to manage your time. Reading lasts 60 to 80 total minutes, but because there is no timer for each passage and question set, you will need to practice managing your time so that you don't accidentally run out at the end. Second, choose a passage reading strategy ahead of time. To do well on TOEFL reading, you must know how to approach the passages so that you are using your time wisely and are clearly comprehending the main points of the text. There are a few ways you can approach reading section passages. Read the entire passage first, recommended. Skim the passage and then answer the questions. Answer the questions paragraph by paragraph. read the question first, not recommended. 3. Skip difficult questions and return to them later. The reading format doesn't require you to answer a question before moving on, so use this feature to your advantage by skipping difficult questions. This way, you can keep moving and answering questions on the test, even if you get stuck. You will also avoid spending too much time on one difficult question. TOEFL exam pattern listening section. Listening. Like reading, listening varies in its length and number of questions due to the possibility of getting unscored experimental questions. This section can range from 60 minutes and 34 questions long to 90 minutes and 51 questions long. Listening tests you on your English listening skills. In total, you will listen to 4 to 6 lectures and 2 to 3 conversations. Each lecture lasts 3 to 5 minutes and comes with 6 questions, while each conversation lasts about 3 minutes and comes with 5 questions. So important, you will hear each audio clip only once. Listening question type. 1. Multiple choice. This is your basic multiple choice questions and by far the most common question type you will see on listening. Each question is worth 1 raw point and comes with 4 answer choice and 1 correct answer. 2. Multiple answer. This second question type is similar to the multiple choice question type above in that you will have 4 answers to choose for. However, you may select more than 1 answer choice, denoted by boxes instead of ovals. And 3. Reply. These questions reply part of the audio clip and then ask you a multiple choice question about that part of the clip. Like the other listening question, this one also is worth 1 raw point. TOEFL exam pattern speaking section. Speaking. Now it's time to use the microphone. The TOEFL speaking section is the shortest section on the TOEFL, lasting just 20 minutes in total. For this section, you will have 6 tasks. The first 2 tasks, the independent tasks, require you to speak for 45 seconds about your opinion and on the familiar topics. The later 4 tasks, the integrated tasks, require you to speak for 60 seconds, almost 1 minute, about passages and audio clips. Speaking is scored differently than the reading and listening section. Each task is scored on a special scale of 0 to 4. These scores are then summed and converted to a final speaking score on a scale of 0 to 30. While the definition of a good speaking score varies depending on what schools you are applying to. A good score is typically considered anything above 22, the 5th percentile. Here I've brought for you the subtle, detailed information about the speaking tasks. Independent speaking tasks. The independent task or task 1 and 2 focus on familiar topics. For task 1, you must choose one of many options, and for task 2, you must choose one of two options. For both tests, you will read the prompt and then have 15 seconds to prepare your response. Once that time is up, you will have 45 seconds to speak. As you speak, you must support your opinions clearly and with ample examples and reasons. And about the integrated task, I have to say, integrated tasks or tasks 3 to 6 require you to combine your reading and listening skills with your speaking skills. Tasks 3 and 5 focus on campus situation, while tasks 4 and 6 focus on academic course content. For tasks 3 and 4, you must read a passage, listen to an audio clip, and answer a question about both the passage and the audio clip. You will have 45 to 50 seconds to read the passage, about 1 minute to listen to the clip, 30 seconds to prepare your response, and 60 seconds to speak. TOEFL exam pattern, writing section. Writing. Finally, we get to the last section of the TOEFL, writing. For this section, you must write 2 essays, an integrated essay and an independent essay, within 15 minutes, almost less than 1 hour. You will have 20 minutes for the first essay and 30 minutes for the second essay. Each essay is scored using a scale of 0 to 5. The 2 essay scores are then combined and converted to a scaled writing score out of 30. While a good writing score varies depending on where you are applying. In general, anything above 22, the 5th percentile, is considered a good score. Writing task type. Integrated writing task. The first essay is the integrated essay. For this task, you will have 3 minutes to read an academic passage of about 300 words. After, you will listen to an approximately 2 minutes long audio clip of a lecture and then write an essay explaining how the lecture and passage support or challenge each other. You will have 20 minutes to prepare and write your response. You will be able to see the passage the entire time you write. The length of your essay should be about 150 to 225 words. Remember that you are not writing about your opinion for this task. Third, you will be doing so for the independent task, which we'll look at next. Independent writing task. The second essay you must write is the independent task. Unlike the integrated essay above, you will have no reading passage to read or audio clip to listen to for this task. All you are get is a prompt. This prompt will focus on a familiar topic and ask for your opinion on it. You may write about your own opinion or make one up. You will have 30 minutes to plan and write a response of at least 300 words. And the last thing is, how is the TOEFL test scored? Each of the 4 sections, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, is scored from 0 to 30, with a total score of 0 to 120 for the entire test. Your TOEFL test scores will be available to you approximately 6 days after taking the test and will be valid just for 2 years. Your score report also automatically includes my best team scores, which are the combination of the highest scores for each section from all of your valid tests in the past 2 years. If you receive a score that doesn't meet the requirements of your school or choice, or you just want to get a better score, you can take the test as many times as you like. There are unlimited retakes. Just there is a required waiting period of 3 days between tests, which allows for testing on consecutive weekends if needed. Okay dear, that was all about the TOEFL test. I hope you found it useful for yourself, and I'm so glad to see you in my website. Good luck dear, and thank you for watching.